I never imagined a simple Zoom call could destroy my marriage, but when my wife accidentally shared her screen during what she called a work meeting, the truth it revealed left me reeling and ended everything we had built. Let me introduce myself. My name is Sean, and I work as a project coordinator for a logistics company, mostly from home these days. I met Rachel 4 years ago at a friend's barbecue. She was the one organizing games for the kids, full of energy and quick with a joke, and we hit it off talking about our favorite hiking spots. Our first date was a trail walk that turned into dinner at a nearby cafe, where we shared stories about our pasts until closing time. Things moved steadily after that. We got engaged after a year and married in a cozy ceremony at a local park, with vows that promised honesty and adventure. Life together felt grounded and good. We rented a 2-bedroom apartment in the city, the kind with big windows letting in morning light. Our routines were simple. She'd handle breakfast, often oatmeal with sliced bananas, while I'd start the coffee and set out her mug just how she liked it. Evenings involved her decompressing from her marketing job with a book or podcast, while I'd cook something easy like stir-fry, and we'd eat at the table discussing our days. We made time for small joys, like weekend markets where we'd pick out fresh produce or surprise each other with notes left in unexpected places. Disagreements happened, usually about her long hours or my forgetfulness with chores, but we'd sit down and sort them out, always ending with a hug. Rachel was my best friend, the person who made ordinary days feel special, and I felt secure in our partnership, trusting her without question. Little by little, though, things started to feel off in the months leading up to that night. It began with minor changes I tried to ignore, thinking it was just work stress from her remote setup. Rachel's meetings increased, often running late into the evening. She'd close the office door, saying she needed focus, and I'd hear muffled laughter through the walls. When I'd ask how it went afterward, she'd wave it off. Just team stuff, boring as usual. But her eyes would avoid mine a bit too long. Her phone became more constant too. It'd ping during dinner, and she'd check it under the table, typing back with a small grin. Client follow-up, she'd explain if I raised an eyebrow, then change the topic to something light. I recall one afternoon when I came home early from an errand and found her on a call. Her voice softer than usual, ending with "talk soon" before hanging up quickly. "Who was that?" I asked casually, handing her a coffee I'd picked up. "Oh, a colleague brainstorming ideas," she replied, taking the cup but not meeting my gaze fully. In my thoughts, I wondered if she was overwhelmed, maybe even dealing with burnout, but when I suggested a weekend getaway to recharge, she'd hesitate. "Maybe next month," she'd say, citing deadlines. Doubts crept in slowly, like noticing her updating her wardrobe with nicer outfits for virtual presentations, or coming to bed later, claiming insomnia. I told myself it was nothing serious, that couples go through phases, but a quiet worry settled in my chest during those moments alone. The evening it all came crashing down started normally enough. Rachel mentioned over lunch that she had a Zoom meeting at 7 p.m., important client pitch, she said, kissing my cheek before heading to the office room. I nodded, planning to make sandwiches for us afterward. Around 7:15, I heard her voice through the door, professional and engaged. Curious about her work, I always liked hearing about her projects. I decided to join quietly from my laptop in the living room, using the link she'd shared earlier for emergencies. The screen loaded, showing her and a few others, but then she clicked to share her presentation. Instead of slides, her entire desktop appeared. Open in the background was a chat window, messages scrolling up. My heart skipped as I read them. Flirty exchanges with a guy named Alex, someone from her past job. "Can't wait for our next meeting," he wrote. Her reply: "Me too, baby." Sean's clueless. Photos attached, intimate ones. The room went silent on the call. Her colleagues' faces froze in awkward shock. Rachel realized a second later, fumbling to stop sharing, but it was too late. "Oh no," she whispered, her voice breaking over the speakers. I sat there, staring, the sandwich ingredients forgotten on the counter. Betrayal hit like a wave, my hands clenching the laptop. How long? Who was Alex? The call ended abruptly, and she burst out of the office, face pale. "Sean, I can explain," she said, reaching for me. I stood up, backing away. "Explain what?" "That you've been cheating. On a work call." Tears filled her eyes as she sank onto the couch. "It started months ago. Alex and I reconnected online. It was just talking at first, but it became more. I felt stuck here, like we were in a rut." Stuck. We'd been planning a trip, talking about kids. "A rut. So you lie and sneak around?" I demanded, voice rising. She admitted the affair had turned physical. Secret lunches and hotel stays masked as meetings. "I still love you," she sobbed. "This was a mistake." But the words felt like salt in the wound, the shock turning to deep hurt as I realized our life had been a facade. I didn't yell or break things that night. Instead, I told her to sleep on the couch while I packed a bag and left for a hotel. The next days were a blur of pain, calling off work, talking to a friend who let me crash longer. Heartbreak consumed me, questions looping in my mind. How did I miss it? Was any of it real? I filed for divorce quietly. No big scenes, just a necessary end to protect myself. Rachel tried texting apologies, promising to end it with Alex, but I blocked her, needing space to heal. Therapy became my lifeline, helping me process the anger and self-doubt. I moved to a smaller place, focused on hobbies like hiking alone to clear my head, and slowly rebuilt connections with friends. Revenge wasn't my style. Letting her face the consequences of her choices felt enough. Last I heard, her job suffered from the mishap, and things with Alex fizzled under the pressure. That accidental screen share didn't just end a meeting. It exposed a hidden world I never knew existed in our marriage. When trust shatters in a single moment, it reminds you that love needs truth to survive. Without it, everything crumbles, leaving you to rebuild stronger on your own.